Hello, dear listener. This is the disembodied voice of Seth from the future, post recording in the editing room for Nerd Bourbon episode 158, which you are about to listen to. Now, something happened to this episode with my audio where for some reason my gain was like higher than it normally is. And so as a result, my audio peaked quite a bit and there's a little bit of distortion. Now, I have done a lot of post processing work and just tinkering to try to make it sound as listenable as possible. I really don't think that the final product sounds too bad, but just so you guys know, that is why my audio here that you're about to listen to sounds a little bit worse than it normally does. For some reason, the gain got all jacked up. So with that being said, I just wanted to put that disclaimer in there. It's kind of just a freak chance scenario. Hopefully it won't happen again. So without any further ado, please enjoy Nerd Bourbon episode 158. It's a good one.
It's June 12th, 2020.
This is Nerd Bourbon episode 158. I'm Seth Sturgill.
And I'm Todd Sturgill.
Holy moly, we got a big show this week, Todd.
Dude, my dick's still hard.
I'll be honest. It was like one of those things. I actually like. So we just got done just moments ago. We postponed. We normally record on Wednesday. We postponed the recording this week so that we could cover the PS5 event. And man, we're gonna go into it in depth at the end of the show. But I mean,
I'll say this: I'm happy that we postponed.
yes, as am I.
I'm happy I'm losing sleep before I get my ass fucked at work tonight.
You guys don't even understand how big of a deal that actually is. For Todd to say that he's happy he's losing sleep.
Yeah. Daddy's gonna pop some rain tonight.
That's actually something that we should address. I should, here at the start of the show, Todd, let me come to you with my hat in my hand.
So, I actually want to say something before this. I actually did stop drinking any caffeine for like almost over a month.
And I'm proud of you for that.
But Daddy had the craving every day. He craved it. He needed it. And you were part of the problem.
Okay. So, I recently had a moment of weakness.
He gave in to the king.
I gave in, and I popped my first can of rain.
Yes.
I'm not proud of it.
But
I have consumed a rain every day since.
So do you agree with me that out of any energy drink, it's like basically one of the best?
I do agree with that. I think that
here's the thing: they taste good too. That's always been my issue with energy drinks.
Yeah.
They usually taste like shit. Rain tastes good, gives me energy, keeps me more so at a baseline than anything. But that's why if I do a second one, it get that fucking roid rage.
300 milligrams. I mean, the fact that they had a huge advantage, first of all, just from the get-go, just by virtue of having a watermelon flavor.
Yes.
Like, if you've got a watermelon flavor, I'm going to try you.
Mm-hmm.
So that had a lot to do with it. But
so I want you to know that I'm fully back on the saddle, by the way, now. Remember, you got to remember something. I also have a shit ton of Death Wish left over. Daddy's back.
So you're back to doing the rain, the Death Wish, the whole shebang, huh?
All of it. To the point where like my manager comments on like, I don't like the way you walk on that shit. It's like, dude, I essentially power walk for like no fucking reason.
Just charging through like
essentially. She's like, I don't like that shit. I don't like when you're on this shit.
I don't like you on rain, Todd.
Here's the thing: I do like myself on rain. I feel alive. God damn it!
I don't want to dwell on the whole rain thing too much. I just want to say that, I gave in. I did give in.
You gave in like I always knew you would. You bitch.
You don't fucking know me.
I do know you.
Anyway, what's been going on, Todd?
Well, not a whole lot of shit. My life has been nothing, like I messaged you. It's, it's been essentially Neo.
When does that DLC come out?
Pretty soon. I think like next month, actually.
Okay.
But yeah, I've been just fucking around on doing the Twilight missions, getting as much Amrita as possible so I can just kind of like level up once they raise the level cap and whatnot. And then other than that, it's like occasionally playing some Call of Duty. That's about it. Like my days have been essentially just like I don't even I'm in that just danger zone of like where I'm like, God, I'm about to go play Monster Hunter. But I've been strong.
Well, look, you got The Last of Us coming out soon.
Eh,
I know you've been hyped for that. I know you've been salivating for that.
It'll get played.
It will be played.
It will be played.
I think that's that Maroon 5 song, and she will be played.
Yeah, that's about it. I'm not gonna act like I'm like hyped as fuck for it, but I'll play it.
Yeah. So for me, I want to talk about a few things real quick. So first of all, happy birthday, Todd. Nerd Bourbon's 3rd birthday passed this week.
I know.
We've been doing this for over 3 years now.
I noticed that because you Venmo'd me some money. No.
So yeah, it's 3rd birthday for Nerd Bourbon. Happy birthday to us. We've been doing this every week for over 3 years now. That's pretty goddamn impressive.
We haven't messed the hell yet. We've come close though, haven't we? Have we ever come close to missing a show? I think the worst it was, I think we were dead ass recording like basically Friday morning one time.
Yeah, I think there was one time where we recorded. It was like already Friday and it was like to the wire. But no, other than that, no, not really. It's been pretty solid. We usually kind of know what the deal is, but yeah, a couple things. I've also, for me, I've been kind of slaving away. I actually am about to tomorrow at the time you're listening to this, launching a new podcast. Actually, another, my 3rd podcast now, my 3rd weekly podcast because I guess I just am a masochist.
How dare you shout out your podcast on this podcast? No, just playing.
Well, there's a little bit of synergy with it. So my new one, I'm not, I'm still doing Nerd Bourbon, of course. Nerd Bourbon's my first love. Nerd Bourbon's my baby. But, this one is going to be a Nintendo-centric podcast because I sort of had the idea for a while because it's a good buddy of mine, Eric. We're both very, very passionate about Nintendo, and you guys probably could tell kind of how passionate I am about Nintendo on the show here. I know Todd sort of his eyes roll back into oblivion every time
my
Nintendo
eyes
is mentioned.
turn white. Man, what the fuck you mean?
Every time I mention Nintendo on the show, so I wanted to have a place where I could just channel all of my Nintendo energy. And of course, I'm still going to be doing Nerd Bourbon with you because it's just a lot of fun. It's more kind of a Nerd Bourbon, of course, is kind of a more casual, like console agnostic, obviously.
Yeah.
Kind of news-based conversational podcast, and I think that scratches an itch. But to get even more macro with my love of Nintendo, that's what All N represents. So it's called All N, a Nintendo podcast. You can check it out every Saturday. It's going to be on Google Play, iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, the whole shebang. And
I forget.
so yeah,
we're on Spotify now, right?
Oh yeah, we've been on Spotify for a while.
Say. Yeah.
So yeah, that's been going on. So I now do 3 podcasts a week, so that's interesting. And in addition to working a full-time job, so yeah, that's kind of been going on in the realm of Nintendo. Just really, really briefly, I did grab a copy of Ring Fit Adventure.
I'm so proud of you. Again, I always shit on like I want to play that game more. I do. But like I do think it was funny that like nobody could get that shit, and I was like one of the few assholes that pre-ordered it.
Yeah, so it's funny because that game, and I've talked about it here on the show several times, it totally it became a collector's item.
Yeah.
You couldn't find it anywhere. You can go on eBay right now and find it for like $200. I
think what it boiled down to, I don't think they expected it to sell like it did.
I think it sold really appreciably. It sold I think 2 or 3 million units or something like that. So anyway, I kind of noticed just kind of on a casual basis seeing it restocking at some places.
So nature was healing.
Nature was healing. Exactly. I was seeing it start to flicker on Amazon and Best Buy and stuff. Of course, it would instantly sell out. But that led me to message my good friend that I've talked about, I think, a few times on the show, my buddy Randy, who was a store manager at a GameStop, and I'm like, hey man, like if you happen to see one, if one
Mm.
happens to float through your store, hit me up. Oh yeah, no problem. He's always been really good about that. And it just so happened later that day, literally hours later, he was like, bro, I got you. He's like, we got one. So I came in and bought it that same day, and I
There you go.
actually I played it last night.
Dude, the workout it'll whoop your ass. It'll
It did whoop my
fucking
ass.
within like 10 minutes, the first time I played it, within like 10 minutes, I'm like already starting to sweat and shit. I'm like, oh fuck.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm a fucking fat piece of
Well,
shit. I
that's the
I have
thing.
not.
So am I, but like you know what it is? Cardio fucks me in a big bad way.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can lift weights like a motherfucker, but like it's the cardio that kills me.
Oh, you should have saw me last night. You should have saw me, my fat ass sitting there, nothing but my underwear,
Yeah, just dripping.
just dripping. I gotta like tie my hair up and shit.
Oh my god.
Oh, it's bad. Oh, it's bad.
Sound Anastasia, I want a picture.
Oh no, you don't. No, you fucking don't. So.
See, if you're wearing some lightly colored underwear, you see some just a pool of swamp.
Oh, you don't want to see that. No, I'm just thanks to the cooling micromodal fabric of MeUndies.
Not a sponsor. No.
But no, I'm literally just sitting there working, and it is amazing how much of a workout you can actually get with
No,
that fucking game.
I genuinely, dude. Here's the thing: the Wii in general, or the Wii's always the Wii, the Switch, all that shit. They've always had just really good movement based like cardio like sort of workouts. Because like even on like just the fucking like Wii U or whatever the fuck, there was this one that was like you can do this like boxing, like this boxer size shit, bro. That shit was good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I
all
know
that
what you're
shit.
talking
Like
about.
they usually just do a good job on that shit, man.
Yeah, and it's crazy. Just but this one obviously with Ring Fit Adventure, they've tied like a story to it and like
Yes.
experience and leveling and stuff like that. They've gamified it, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I'm just kind of thinking to myself, I'm like, you know what, dude? Like if I can sit here and if I can play this for like 30 minutes a day, I think I'm gonna lose a little weight.
The one
You
thing I
know?
do respect about it is you don't actually have to play the story. You can just go and do the workouts.
Yes.
They've actually added a new rhythm mode, which
Yeah.
I want you to talk about, my sweet boy.
Yeah, because that fucked me up. I that was the first thing I actually did because I knew that they had added it, and I was like, okay, I want to check this out. I love rhythm games. I love video game music. They have like Jump Up Superstar from Mario
Yeah.
Odyssey. So I'm like, let me check this out, right? And I'm playing it, and I did it on novice or the easy mode or whatever. I'm like, okay, this is a little too easy. Let me bump it up real quick. Well, little did I know. When you play it on the like advanced or whatever, oh, they want you to start moving. I'm playing and all of a sudden I see like the down symbol to crouch. It's like crouch, hold. I'm like, fuck. I'm like sitting there like crouching like an asshole and like they even want you like so basically how it works is like you're holding the ring con or whatever, and you can
Yeah.
either to hit the notes you either have to push it in,
Yeah.
pull it out, or like twist it or move it or whatever. They want you to crouch and still be like doing that. So I look like a little fat crab, just like just like moving my arms around with the ring con and shit. But it was a solid workout, dude. Like by the end of that song, you're breaking a sweat. You know what I mean? So it was actually pretty cool. I liked it a lot. That was the only
Hey.
one that I played though. I know they
Hey,
have like
you know what?
Splatoon music.
I'm happy your fat ass is getting moving.
Hey, it's nice. This is again. I wish I had this during quarantine. I really do, because I get my workout kind of like I'm moving at work and stuff, but it's
Mhm.
not. I want to exercise when I'm not at work.
Well, that's the thing, dude. Like, I want to start working out again. For me personally, like, I got that set up in the garage, and what it really boils down to right now is it's hot as fuck in that garage.
Oh yeah, it's hot.
I can't do it, dude. It's like I need it. So my plan is it's in the near future. I need to do some cleanup down in the basement. Yeah.
Try to get a little bit of a setup down there.
Yes, I want to move all my shit in there. and all that. Yeah.
And I mean, Ring Fit Adventure is not like all inclusive or whatever, but it's really cool. If you're somebody like me who, like, you don't really have time to go to the gym,
Yeah, you just want a little
you
extra
know,
movement.
want a little extra movement. I think 30, 45 minutes a day, I'll probably get on that thing and just get a little active before I take my shower or something,
Mm-hmm.
So that's my goal. We'll see. It's just going to depend on how much time I have to sit there, but I really like it a lot. I think it's really brilliant. I'm happy to have it. Happy I didn't have to pay $300 for it. So, and by the way, that character, that Ring Fit, or I don't even think it has like a proper name. That character is like, put it in Smash. It's like
Oh,
really good character design.
yeah.
Anyway, so that's Ring Fit Adventure. That's pretty much the bulk of what I've been up to. We have got a lot of news to get into, so if you're ready, I think we need to just tackle this shit head first.
Let's get right into it, man. It's I'm excited.
So, first thing I have on the docket here, in response to ongoing protests across the globe, obviously with everything going on with Black Lives Matter and stuff like that, racial injustice, EA, like many others, they have adopted to postpone their EA Play Live 2020 event. In a statement, they said, quote, with the important conversations taking place and important voices being heard around the world right now, we're moving our time to come together and play. So they have postponed EA Play Live 2020. It is now taking place on June 18th at 4 p.m. Pacific time. So that is when you can watch EA's sort of not E3 event. Thoughts? Excited?
uh, I mean, historically, EA is like the worst shit of E3, and it like fucking kills me. It is the Indiana Jones face melt.
Yeah, I think I sent you that one year.
Yeah, it's just like fuck. Well, it was just fucking. It's always just like 20, 30. It's like just so many fucking sport games. I get it, but it's like shit.
I get it. You have to tackle it. That's such a huge part of EA and stuff. But I mean, there are some kind of exciting rumors. Like we've more or less heard confirmation that the Mass Effect trilogy is getting ported. That they're gonna kind of announce here and stuff.
I can't. It's too late for me on that.
It is. I know for you, but I'm excited about that. I think that also we're probably going to see what that Project Maverick is. That Star Wars game.
Yeah.
So that could be exciting. So anyway, that's next week. We'll probably cover that on the show.
What day is that? June 18th?
June 18th. That's literally this time. That's next Thursday.
Oh, so we're going to be... okay.
But here's the problem, though. 4 p.m. Pacific is 6 p.m. our time. So it's not going to work out with your work schedule.
Yeah, nope. That's not going to work.
The only way we could do it is if we did like the true garbage of like we were just talking about earlier, where we record like late at night or early in the morning, Friday morning.
Thing is, I work Thursday night.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like early in the morning when you get home. That would be dog shit. But we'll talk about that off mic, obviously. Going kind of tit for tat with that, in the greatest non-leak possibly of all time, because we kind of knew this was a thing, seems like Far Cry 6 is actually planning to be unveiled during Ubisoft's Ubisoft Forward event this year. That is Ubisoft's kind of answer to the not E3 thing. And apparently it's going to be releasing in early 2021. I mean, this is par for the course, right?
I mean, yeah. I just kind of just don't care.
Yeah, so the leaker says that they didn't want to spoil the setting. They say that it will take the series back to an exotic locale.
Okay.
After some people were disappointed with Far Cry taking place in like the United States and Montana. So I mean, I guess that's kind of cool. I just like you just said, I don't know how much I care about Far Cry.
I mean,
anymore.
They need to evolve right now. Those games need to evolve again, because I'm just bored of the formula.
The formula has been the same. They've reached the place now where Assassin's Creed was before Origins. Mm-hmm. It's time for a shakeup. Who knows? Maybe Far Cry 6 will represent a big shakeup for the series, and maybe it's something that we'd be interested in. But I don't know. We'll obviously cover it more when it's officially unveiled at some point soon. It will more than likely be cross-gen when it does come out.
Mm-hmm.
So I imagine that'll be a thing. We'll see. Moving on, though, so let's talk about a kind of surprising remaster that was revealed this week. I didn't see this coming at all. The underrated action RPG Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning.
Say its true name now.
Getting the remastered treatment, yeah. It has an awful fucking name. It's
fucking
called
terrible.
Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning.
I hate it so much.
It's really
I'm
bad.
gonna play the shit out of it, but I hate it.
Now, this is coming in August to PC, Xbox One, and PS4. Looks pretty good. We've seen some screens and stuff like that, and it, I mean, looks like they've done a pretty decent job updating the visuals. I really, really love that game. Mm-hmm. That's a very underrated action RPG. Like, it's interesting because Amalur is essentially, it was kind of like a single player MMO almost. Yeah. Like, the scale of it was so huge, and like the one thing that I really enjoyed about it was the combat.
Dude, the combat was fun.
Kind of had a hack and slash kind of combat to it. It was a really solid combat system. And I liked the sort of world and the story, and I don't know. It was just a really good game, and the art was great. People might remember, I mean, if you don't know what we're talking about right now, Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning was a project that was sort of the confluence of a bunch of different like designers and people that have, you know, I think Ken Ralston and like R.A. Salvatore were involved with it, and just like these big time like kind of fantasy authors. I think Todd McFarlane was involved. It had a lot of like big names attached to it, and there's a weird story about how like they borrowed money from like the state of Rhode Island to fund that game. Do you remember this?
Yeah.
Like, it was really strange, and so like when they didn't get a return on the investment, the game sold okay, but they didn't quite get a return on the investment, so the state of Rhode Island like took the IP from them like legally and then sold it to THQ Nordic, because of course they did. THQ Nordic owns like every IP at this point. And yeah, so THQ Nordic re-releasing the game, and I'm happy it's going to get a second shot, because the game's good, and I'd like to see more Amalur games. So see how that turns out. I hope everybody kind of supports it. It's going to be $40. You know, they're not asking a lot for it. I don't know. I think it's worth the second look. They were actually developing, I remember, after, like, while Reckoning was out, they were actually working on a straight up Amalur MMO.
Oh, damn.
Like, with that same focus on like the really good combat. Like, it would, if that game actually came out, that would have been the best MMO combat, guaranteed. Like, MMO's combat is usually trash.
Mm-hmm.
So that would have been guaranteed the best MMO combat. But we'll see. I would love to see that series get a second shot at life. So looking forward to it. You gonna pick it up?
Yeah, I definitely am. Like, I'm actually really excited for it. Bro, I've been trying not to like laugh at this one fucking part of this news drop.
What's that?
Just you talking about Destiny.
So let's touch on that. That's as good a segue as any. So earlier this week, we kind of talked shit, I think, a little bit about Destiny last week on the show, because, you know, Bungie was teasing like this big reveal for the next step of Destiny 2, and they kind of didn't show us anything. It was like a teaser of a teaser with like some in-game events with like the Red Legion, right?
Dude, here's the thing. I'm so fucking far gone on Destiny 2 now.
So they did a proper kind of unveiling about the future of Destiny 2 earlier this week. And this is the weird thing about it. Now we're going to kind of go through it, and I'm just going to kind of give you the TLDR version of it. But like, they're planning on extending Destiny 2's life all the way through until fucking 2022.
No, dude.
Like,
no.
What?
No.
And possibly even further. Now, Destiny 2 came out in what?
All right, so here's the thing. They're doing what a lot of people thought they should have done, which is Destiny 1, is just build on the game, like basically World of Warcraft. And it's just like, fuck, why?
I swear to God, it feels like Destiny 2 has been out longer than this. It hasn't even been out 3 years yet.
Shit, it feels like I started playing that game like 5 years ago.
I feel like it was like an eternity ago. Yeah, like
Yeah.
it's so strange. But yeah, 2022, they've got a roadmap for it already. So here's basically what's going to be happening with Destiny 2. So essentially, they feel like the game has gotten too large
Mm-hmm.
for them. As you all know, Destiny and Bungie no longer have the backing of Activision. Bungie essentially is back to being an independent studio at this point. They say that the size and complexity of Destiny 2 are kind of making it like harder for them to keep up with things like bugs and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
I think I read that they're planning on destroying shit, right? Like destroying planets.
yes, kind of. So basically, rather than building Destiny 3, basically every year they're going to be cycling like kind of the older, less actively played content out of the game and putting it into what they're calling the Destiny Content Vault.
Okay.
This will allow them to add and support Destiny 2 for years to come, including 3 new annual expansions that they announced. I think it's like, what I don't even remember what all their names are, but they've got 3 expansions basically coming every year. This year, next year, and
Now,
2022.
the only question I have is the darkness finally a thing?
Well, yeah, so what I heard and read is that the darkness sort of played a large part of the last expansion to where they're actually making it sound like they're actually going to be dealing with that finally in the story.
Everyone, moment of silence.
Right. Finally answering that.
Something darkness.
Right. The Destiny Content Vault will include all content from Destiny 1 and anything that cycles out from Destiny 2. So basically what they're going to be doing is they will unvault activities and destination content from it each year.
Okay.
Unvaulting starts in Destiny 2 Year 4 with the Cosmodrome coming back.
Oh, what?
Yes, as well as its 3 strikes and the return of the Vault of Glass raid.
So they're actually bringing Destiny 1. Oh, fuck. Okay, that's kind of cool.
The primary Destiny 2 content leaving the game and going into the vault this fall are the destinations Mars, Io, Titan, Mercury, and Leviathan and their supported activities.
Wow. I mean, I think that's a smart way to keep the game somewhat fresh.
Yeah, I agree.
Damn. I just wish I cared.
There'll be new ways to earn the exotics originally linked to the content that has entered the vault.
Okay.
So that's cool.
Okay.
So Beyond Light is the expansion that's coming for this fall. And basically the new locations, again, they're vaulting shit. And there are going to be new locations. We're going to have Europa, which is a new location, brand new. We're going to, again, Cosmodrome is being unvaulted. The Moon, Tangled Shore, Dreaming City, EDZ, and Nessus will be the locations that will be in the next, basically, year of Destiny 2.
Okay.
So basically, they're saying this approach will allow us to respond to player feedback more rapidly, enable more innovation, and will keep Destiny 2 and your characters thriving for years to come. So that's basically what's going on with Destiny 2. I do think it's smart, even though you and I don't play Destiny 2.
It's a smart move to what they're doing. So
I do love that they're working in Destiny 1 stuff.
Yeah, that's great. Like that's, dude. I have fond memories of Destiny 1 and even Destiny 2. It's just like I just don't care anymore.
They ruined for me anyway, and I know we talked about this forever ago.
They ruined the gameplay loop for me because it's just like I was fine because I don't have time to make that the only game that I play.
Right.
And that's what they wanted. That's what it got to.
Well, that was the thing, right? For forever, that was the thing. We even have it on our YouTube channel. That was the weekly Destiny reset.
The weekly Destiny
week.
stream. Yeah, we had a lot of fun. We jumped on there, recorded it, or streamed it basically every week.
Yep.
And it was a good time. Had a lot of fun on it. We had Scotty in on there every week, essentially.
A long kind of 4-hour session where we just said, hey, let's go through our weeklies. Yeah, exactly.
But then it's, we got to play it every day. And I'm like, no.
Now you've got dailies. And there's shit that resets twice a week now. And I'm just like,
I'm not that dude. Like I do other shit. I work full time. Like, fuck, I'm like, that's not happening.
So anyway, kind of cool. I sort of tip my hat to that. I think it's a really cool restructuring of the game, but again, it's not quite enough for us to
it's not for us.
Come back.
It's definitely not for us.
So that's happening. This might appeal to your interest slightly. I know you enjoyed Dead Island a whole lot more than I did.
Okay. I want to bring this back. You say I enjoyed it. I'm gonna tell you why I enjoyed it, because I didn't play shit back then. Then I played a good game, and I went back to it. I'm like, God, this game is ass.
I hated Dead Island from
Dead
day one. I
Island's
hated
not
Dead
good.
Island.
Dead Island is good. You know what game is good? Dying Light.
Yeah, Dying Light's great, but they actually were working, you might remember, on a sequel to Dead Island 2 and a playable version of this, a
Dude,
5-year-old build.
How long ago did we see the trailer for that shit?
Forever ago.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. I actually saw this pop up on, like, I think it was on Kotaku or something. And I'm like, oh shit, that's still a thing, huh?
Well, this was a 5-year-old build of Dead Island 2. It was leaked and uploaded to V on 4chan. And yeah, it's like playable. I mean, it's, you can tell it's like rough around the edges and it has a lot of like reused assets and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's a thing. Like, people are playing it, and I watched a few gameplay videos, and like, yeah, that game was very much in development. Now, this has been going on for years, like across now 3 different studios. Originally, Jaeger, the Spec Ops The Line developers were working on it. Then in 2016, it moved on to Sumo Digital. And then just last year, actually, it moved on to Dambuster Studios, who made Homefront The Revolution. And they maintain that Dead Island 2 is still in development, still going to be a thing.
It's at this point, it's like, how much money has been put into this game?
I mean, you have to imagine millions and millions of dollars.
I'm just like, dude, how much is it in, like, this game flops? Ooh.
Now, Dead Island 1, I believe, I'm going to have to verify this really, really quickly, but I believe Dead Island 1 actually sold pretty well.
I think it did. So my phone's not near me. I don't feel like
I'm going to look it up real quick, but I think it actually did sell pretty appreciably. It actually has sold more than 5 million copies.
Mm-hmm.
As of this, is even going back to 2013, so it may have exceeded a little bit more than that by now. But yeah, it seems like it seems like they assume that Dead Island 2 is going to come out and do the same.
Not in my mind, not with like the fact that like a better game exists. Like it's off the off chance. I think Dying Light 2 just got like postponed indefinitely. Right?
Yes, it did.
Yeah. So on the off chance these games magically came out around the same time, fuck out of here.
Right. Yeah. No, I don't have a whole lot of, and it looks to me like, I mean, it's going to be so wildly different from what we've seen already.
Yeah.
And then based on the build and everything, it almost seemed like they were going for a little bit of a goofier. If you actually look at the gameplay footage,
the gameplay.
The trailer
was goofy as fuck. The original trailer for that shit was goofy as fuck, and then I haven't seen any of the gameplay. It looks like goofy.
That might be a little strong. It definitely looks more cartoony than the first one.
Trying to get a little bit more of that. Get a little bit of some Dead Rising.
I didn't really see, maybe a little bit. I didn't really see like too much of the stamina bullshit or anything. That might be in there. I didn't really take a close look, but I really couldn't care less. I hated the first game. It's just interesting. I'm like, how does this happen? How does a full 5-year-old build of a game leak like this? Playable.
Now, can I tell you some real shit? It's marketing, my boy.
You think they did it on purpose? But why a 5-year-old build of the game?
I don't fucking know. I don't question these corporate elites.
I don't know. I guess that's possible. I mean, maybe they're
is that going to be my new catchphrase? It's marketing, my boy.
It's all marketing.
Oh shit.
Well, speaking of leaks, it does. We have a little bit of a Battlefield leak. I wanted to get your take on this. I know you're a big Battlefield guy. Sounds like Battlefield 6 is actually going to be taking the series back to the setting of Modern Warfare, which has been kind of swirling around the rumor mill this week. It's been corroborated by several prolific leakers, including Jeff Grubb, all hail King Grubb. And it's said that this game is looking to go back to something similarly to what we saw in Battlefield 3. Now, The reason I want to ask you about this is because we know that the next Call of Duty, of course, is going to be Black Ops, Cold War, whatever. But if we're going to go back to like trading off to Modern Warfare and this in 2021, Battlefield 6 in the modern day is going to be competing with Modern Warfare 2, right? So what's your take on that?
All right. So we've reached this point in the cycle of for FPSs, with
The
the
cycle
main ones.
begins anew.
This again, that's essentially what this does. It's every 5 or so fucking years, if not more. It's like, I'm tired of modern shit. I'm tired. And then they start doing the future shit. Nobody likes that shit, and they go back to the good old classic. Goddamn the World Wars. But you can't do World War shit that many times. Because one, I'll be honest, Battlefield 5 was weak as fuck for me.
Yeah, it was.
Weak as fuck. Like, I genuinely, like, I'm actually more excited for Battlefield 6 going back to modern. Because here's the thing. I personally prefer Battlefield over Call of Duty. I do. So I'm actually really excited for Battlefield 6 going back to modern times and actually competing with Modern Warfare 2, even though I already know Modern Warfare 2 is going to do way better.
Probably so. But let me ask you this. So, how'd you feel? Were you a Battlefield 3 guy?
Yeah, dude, I played the fuck out of Battlefield 3.
So this must excite you then, because the leaker specifically is saying that this is kind of going back to Battlefield 3.
The fuck out of Battlefield 3.
So I think Battlefield 6 is going to be kind of a pseudo sequel to Battlefield 3.
And I'm just like, let's fucking go.
Do you think that this is going to be, because, based on what we kind of know, what we've heard is, I mean, obviously the Blackout has been a big success and everything, and the Warzone and stuff like that.
Their Firestorm has not been a fucking...
Exactly, that's what I was going to say. Firestorm, though, not a success. So do you think it's best if they just abandon that shit?
I think they should, or if they do, they need to actually... I respect what they try to do with Firestorm, I do. But I do think they need to actually take... If they want to do another Battle Royale, they need to actually learn from what everybody else is doing and try to incorporate that with what Battlefield is. Because it's just... Firestorm was fucking weak, dude. I played like 2 or 3 games of that shit. I hated every second of it. And I'm granted, I'm not a big battle royale guy, but I'm decent at like Apex. I'm decent at like some of the other like little like obscure ones and shit. But it's like fucking that Firestorm was ass.
You'll dip your toes in the water.
I dip my toes. Yeah, I get some wins.
Yeah. So I'm just curious though. I'm like, if it were me, right? And I'm not the Battlefield fan you are, but I really liked Battlefield 1, and I really liked like 1943 and the Bad Company games.
Can I say the real shit before? I don't think Battlefield needs a battle royale. It's already a massive just battle, war zone. It doesn't need it.
No,
in my mind, it doesn't need it. Like, you got Conquest, you get like those massive like 64 on 64 like games. You don't need it. It's fun. Like, you just getting. But who am I?
All I really know is that, like, all I really want Battlefield 6 to be is just a really, really good focus all of your efforts on the multiplayer.
Yeah.
I don't even need you to worry about a single player. I don't know what their analytics are about how many people actually play that shit.
I barely touched those stupid ass war stories.
I mean, I'm sure they're fine. I know some people liked them, but
the only reason I even ever did any of those, even in the campaign in like Battlefield 4 or Battlefield 3, is because you can unlock weapons in the multiplayer. That's the only reason I did it.
Just ditch the campaign altogether. Ditch this like half-baked battle royale bandwagon shit. Let Battlefield be Battlefield.
Just like let Doom be Doom.
Had to bring that in there, didn't you?
I did.
Just let Battlefield be Battlefield. Just don't get out of the... people come to Battlefield for that classic multiplayer experience. Just get everything else. Don't muddy it up. Get everything out of the way. And just let that be what it is.
Yeah, man. It's all I want.
And if you could do one of two things with that too. You could either charge less for the game, which I think would be successful, or you could charge the same for the game but remove some of the microtransaction stuff. And I think that would be successful too. I think that's, just make a really great multiplayer experience with Battlefield 6 and support it and just focus deep, go deep down on that. Fuck your campaign. Fuck your battle royale. Just do what you do best. You know, that would be my advice. Anyway, so I imagine we're probably going to see that, probably at least a teaser, a trailer or something at this EA Live EA Play Live thing. So I guess we'll see. But Todd, let's get into the meat here. As we alluded to, the biggest thing unquestionably that has happened this week in terms of the news is the PS5 reveal event that we were just treated to mere moments before hitting the record button.
See, what I want you to know is you think these 40 minutes killed my boner? It's like Viagra, bitch.
I'm feeling weak right now. All the blood has gone to my penis.
Well, I'm getting a little lightheaded.
I'm about to pass out. They say you should see a doctor if you have a prolonged boner like that, Todd.
Well,
But that's what this PS5 reveal event will do for you.
but before, at the head of this, I want to talk shit about someone.
Oh God.
I don't even give a fuck if he doesn't even listen to this shit. We're sitting there. I'm sitting there enjoying every second of this shit, essentially. And I'm getting like a message from a buddy of mine. I think I've even mentioned his fucking name with his shit opinions.
Yeah, many times. Many times.
Yeah. My boy Ronald, his ass is sitting there like this event is trash. I'm like, the fuck? Are we watching the same thing? Like, what? Oh, genuinely like disgusted me. I was like, the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know what he was watching, but this
Well,
was an awesome
His
event.
opinions are invalid to me because all this man does is play like fucking like Resident Evil, like Rainbow Six and shit, essentially, and like
Yeah, fair enough.
shit horror games. Which, oh, by the way, that was hilarious when I was over at his place a couple days ago or last night actually at the time of this recording.
Yeah,
he's playing this shit horror game. The game did not scare me. He scared me because this man fucking screeched like a fucking woman.
what game was it?
Oh fuck! What was it? It was something on it. He was playing on Xbox. It was like this. I don't even remember the fucking name because it was like how forgettable it was to me. But there was a moment he's sitting there. It's here. It's coming for me. I'm like, what? He turns around. This fucking thing is crawling on the floor towards this man. Goes, dude, I can't even do the scream. That's how loud it was. His scream scared me. I'm looking at him like, what the fuck, bro?
Well, let's deep dive into this here because we both obviously really enjoyed this PS5 event, but
good time.
I want to really marinate on this and take some time and really just kind of, dive into these. I have notes. I'm going to take you through the whole event, and we're just going to kind of soak here for a little while in sweet PS5 goodness.
It's funny as I'm going to be doing that after this recording.
The Lazarus Pit?
Oh yes, I must rejuvenate myself before the fire.
So this event opens up with the Rockstar logo, and already I'm like, what is this? Right? But
I had a feeling it wasn't going to be GTA 6.
I knew it wouldn't be GTA 6, but I was a little bit like, what? So what else could it have been, of course, but GTA 5 to open up the event here? Kind of got just a trailer. I don't even think it was showing PS5 footage.
Nah,
didn't it have the PS4 logo on it?
I think it was just dead ass B-reel of just fucking other shit.
It was odd. I mean, it did kind of showcase just how crazy GTA Online has gotten. With like the whole kind of what we were talking about recently, how it's kind of like working in story to the online mode and stuff. But anyway, the really kind of big thing, obviously GTA 5 is huge. Like it's like the biggest entertainment property ever. And it is actually going to be made free. GTA Online, anyway, is going to be made free for PS5 users.
And that's a smart fucking move.
When it comes out, I think in 2021 is when that's going to come out. Smart move, man. And I think they even said something like, in the meantime, in the months leading up to release.
So PS4 users will be getting $1 million in cash every month leading up to this.
That's cool. Yeah, you're going to see some people playing that. So that's pretty cool. I mean, smart. It was obvious they were going to port 5 up to PS5. I mean, again, that you're going to keep that train rolling with GTA 5. That game is not going to let up anytime soon. And really smart to make that. I mean, hell, if it's going to be free, it's like I might as well download it, right? Might as well give it a little bit of a second chance now they've added all this shit.
Dude, I'm going to be honest with you. Like starting off at that shit, like I mean, GTA. I'm gonna be honest with you, is more so for the people that have just put an asinine amount of time into it
Yeah,
because like they got
we'll
all the
see.
weapons and shit. I mean,
That's
granted,
true.
like with all the new weapons that you can get from like the start, you're kind of good, but
But fuck all of that. That's the past. GTA 5's been out for like 5 years now. Fuck that.
kill it.
Yeah, exactly. Bury the past. Kill it if you have to. They had a little, all game footage in game is what they were basically saying. They're basically saying like, hey, right at the front, this is a very calculated little splash screen. They're like, this is not going to be like the Microsoft event. We're going to be showing you gameplay. Everything that you're seeing is in-game footage running on PS5. Now, the very first trailer after GTA 5. Oh man, they started off with a bang. It was actually, it took us a few seconds, right? We're like, what is this? Because we see the shot of like an arm with
Hmm.
electricity going around it,
Yes.
right? And then you're starting to hear a little bit of voiceover. And then it becomes more and more clear that it's Miles Morales
Hmm.
rocking his spider suit. And then we start to see gameplay, and it just looks so good. Like, and essentially, we get this trailer. We're seeing stuff. It's rapid fire. I'm gonna have to watch this trailer at least 5 more times. Like after we're done recording this.
That's real. That's some real shit. I want to see if they like showed any like it was moving so fast. I didn't even like know if I saw any like villains or anything.
Moving super fast. I mean, we saw obviously some shots of like Miles as kind of like light, like electricity stuff.
Yeah,
We
his
saw the cloaking
yeah, the
stuff.
cloaking. Yep. That's actually one of the
Yeah,
things I'm thinking that's gonna be really cool. Some like stealth shit, dude.
yeah. But this is so essentially they showed that this is called Spider-Man Miles Morales coming this year,
Yes.
this
Yes.
holiday. That was mind blowing to me. Now, like to see this, I was like, okay, this kind of makes sense. And I think you and I sort of talked like this is going to be kind of a connective tissue game,
Yes, between this and Spider-Man 2 proper.
right? I don't think this is going to be properly Spider-Man 2, of course. We just got Insomniac Spider-Man last year, so I this is going to be kind of a connective tissue game running on PS5 here for launch window, if not launch day. Did they say launch day?
They did not say launch day, but I'm assuming it's launch.
You got to assume it is. I mean, it's holiday 2020, so worst case scenario,
You might
if
wait
it's
like a
coming
few
out,
months.
yeah, like a month or two. So it's going to be launch
Yeah.
window regardless. I mean, this thing looks great. The graphics looked great, looked smooth, looked like I'm wondering what the scale is going to be. I don't feel like you could have. How could Insomniac have possibly made a full scale open world Spider-Man game in a year? You know what I'm saying? On
Mm-hmm.
PS5. I don't know that. I feel like this has got to be kind of a smaller kind of thing.
Yeah, and I'm fine with that, honestly. Like, just give me a little bit more Spider-Man, man. Shit was amazing. So
If all this has to be for me, if this is just kind of, even if it's in like a kind of smaller open world, like kind of like a 10-15 hour kind of thing, I'm okay with that.
no, I'm definitely fine with that.
Just give me a little bit of a taste, give me a little bit more of that story, and then properly give me Spider-Man 2 next holiday. You know what I mean?
Which I'm assuming we'll be playing as both, and I'm completely fine with that. Probably a little bit of Mary Jane again as well.
Yeah, so that was just a huge surprise. I really did not come into this. Coming into this, I expected a couple of things, right? And some of it I got, some of it I didn't get, right? So I think I haven't told you. I was like, I'm expecting to see Horizon. We'll talk about that later. I'm expecting to see the box and maybe a God of War 2 tease. And again, we got some of that, and then some of it we didn't get. But I did not think we were going to see anything Spider-Man.
So, yeah, nothing Spider-Man related.
Oh, and I thought we were also going to see Ratchet. Of course, if you've been listening to the show for a while, I've been
Dude,
talking about Ratchet.
you've been talking about Ratchet like shit for like God for the past year.
Yeah,
If
probably
not
the past
longer.
year. I knew
Yeah.
Ratchet 2 was coming. So, and we're going to get to that very shortly. Before we talk about Ratchet, Gran Turismo 7,
Of course.
which you and I don't super care about,
But it looks good. Looks
but
beautiful.
it's really pretty.
Yeah.
I'm not a sim racer guy. I like arcade racers.
Mm-hmm.
I like my Mario Karts. I like my burnouts. I'm not a big sim racer guy, but I mean, look, I'm excited for the people. Gran Turismo is a storied franchise going back, God, 20 plus years now at this point. So you have to respect Gran Turismo for what it is. It looks beautiful. I'm excited for the people who are into this. However, what I really cared about was what we saw next. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
Holy fucking shit.
Now, again, I've been talking about, a sequel to the Ratchet and Clank reboot for a while. Never in a million years would I have guessed that this is what we were going to get on PS5. It looks phenomenal. I mean, so I was already picking up my brain matter off the floor from the Spider-Man teaser.
And they shot you in the head again, my boy.
But right as I'm sitting there picking it up, they're like, no, stay down, bitch, basically.
Dude, it was insane. It was fucking insane.
The whole sort of, I guess, gimmick of this one is
dimensional rifts
going between hell, at the start of this sort of reveal, we're seeing Ratchet, and you can tell it's gameplay. It's very obviously gameplay, and we saw a little gameplay clip even afterwards. So we know it's gameplay, kind of going through these varied worlds, like this kind of like space pirate ship, and like this kind of like dark cyberpunk city, like a kind of foresty area, like these varied worlds through these various rifts and stuff. And then eventually at the end of the kind of sequence, Ratchet and Clank get, rift apart, as it were. And we see it, kind of like a female Lombax.
Yes.
That there's almost certainly porn of as we speak.
All right, now, at the time of this recording.
Already?
But it's only been about an hour.
So, I mean, first of all, no release date given for this. I was sort of hoping that this is going to be a launch window title. I'm sort of feeling now that it's probably going to be like a spring 2021 kind of thing. I think the first Ratchet reboot came out in April. So I think this is probably going to be kind of slotted into around that. So this will be like an early spring kind of thing. But it looks fucking fantastic. And I think what a lot of people assumed, myself included, when they redid the first Ratchet and Clank game, right? Which, by the way, just to pimp this out real quick, you did a full playthrough of that on our YouTube channel.
For the record, there already is.
You looked it up?
Yes.
All right, then. So, confirmed. So, yeah, we have a full playthrough of that first one. But the first one was really what it was. It was kind of weird. They were like doing a movie along with it. And it was kind of a retelling of the first game's story, but with little tweaks here and there.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like Dr. Nefarious is kind of their ultimate big bad, and they sort of planted him into the story of the first one. I think what a lot of people assumed, again, myself included, was that the next one was just going to be a retelling of Ratchet 2. That is not what this is. This is a full new Ratchet game, and we've got, again, we do see a lot of the Dr. Nefarious presence in this trailer.
Yeah, you notice like his like hologram ships and shit.
Yeah, we see ships that, I mean, it's very much, Dr. Nefarious is still the big bad. You can tell that the seeds were planted there in that first game for a reason. But this is not just retelling that story. This is a whole new thing. And I could not be happier with what they're doing here. It looks phenomenal, just jaw-dropping. And, it's funny because on PS4, the game already looked Pixar quality, right? But, like, here, what they're having to do, right? And we saw maybe a couple minutes of gameplay, literally just gameplay combat footage, and it looks like there are going to be rifts in the battlefield that at any time you can just swap between. You can kind of pull it in and go into this other dimension.
Yeah. Basically, it's almost using it to like pull shit to you, essentially, but
right,
that it's like would not be possible without like the PS5.
There's no way it would be possible. Yeah. So this is already, Todd, we're starting to see what we've been talking about with PS5. This is going to be the kind of shit that makes the difference. Essentially what they're having to do with this under the hood, if you think about it from a mechanical, technical level, they're having to render two areas at the same time so that Ratchet can quickly switch between the two areas on the fly. The player can do that whenever they want, right? Mm. So that's super impressive. The fact that they're doing that, at all times. And that's the kind of stuff that is only going to be possible with like the PS5's SSD technology. So I mean, this is just it looked phenomenal. I could not be happier with what we saw. I cannot wait for this game whenever it comes out. Just bring it on, man. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
Mm-hmm.
I know you're excited.
Oh, dude, I will more than likely do a playthrough.
Well,
Actually,
it's tradition at this point.
Well, yeah, I feel like I have to do it. That's gonna have to get uploaded to YouTube.
So the next thing we saw is a Square Enix game, and this looked really interesting. This is really just a teaser, and we did see what looked like snippets of gameplay. Yeah.
It caught my attention.
It's called, I guess, Project Athea.
I doubt that's like the actual name.
That's not going to be the final title, yeah. But it's essentially what it looks like. And you kind of called this out. It looks like it's kind of a game. You look like you're playing as like a druidic mage.
Yeah, it looked really magic based. I saw like the controlling like nature in a way, like bringing up vines and shit.
Right.
I mean,
kind of fantasy setting.
Yeah, it looked platforming. There was like I saw some platformy shit going on there.
Yeah, the movement looked kind of cool with some platforming and stuff like that. You're playing as this female character. She's got a really cool character design too. I liked her character design. And this is actually the big surprise I think for me was the fact that this is actually going to be a PS5 exclusive.
Yes, designed exclusively for PS5.
Really cool to see that. It's cool to see that third parties are already making exclusives for PS5. Square Enix jumping in on the ground floor here. So I'm looking forward to seeing more of that. We don't have a whole lot we can talk about.
Yeah, we basically covered it. Like, I saw some cool visuals. I saw a dragon.
Yeah, I mean, it looks cool. It looks really cool. Now, the game that basically sold me instantly is a game called Stray.
Yeah.
This was really cool, even from the outset, because we're seeing this. It's kind of this shot of this like cyberpunk alley. Looks like it is a world completely inhabited by robots. There's even some graffiti that said like "R.I.P. humans" and shit. And all the while, we're seeing this cat kind of weave through the crowds of robots and stuff, and just gorgeous like cyberpunk visuals. Looked amazing, right? And like we get the sense as we're starting. At first the cat seemed a little like, okay, whatever, that's a little innocuous.
Yeah, at first you might think this might be just like you're gonna be playing some like robot or some shit,
right? But then it kind of becomes clear that no, you're gonna be playing as the cat.
Yeah.
And leading up to the final shot of the cat sort of on a kind of ballast there at the end of a kind of on the ledge of like a building or something, and the cat just like meows.
Yes.
So
title card.
Stray, and it just, first of all, it's a great title, and it looks like you're playing a stray cat. Now he did have some sort of like technology vest.
Yeah, like thing. He had like a kind of like a bag on him essentially. You were like, is he a messenger cat?
That's what I was sort of thinking, is maybe you're a messenger cat of some kind in this dilapidated post-apocalyptic like cyberpunk world, and I am here for it. I'm absolutely here for it. We didn't see a whole lot beyond that. It's very much a teaser trailer. It's coming in 2021, but I will certainly be keeping my eye on that. Now, something that we were seeing a lot of throughout the course of this kind of event was little stingers between each game, right? Like little little splash screens showing the sacred symbols.
Yeah,
and
a
shit.
lot of the sacred symbols, a lot of like the monochromatic shit.
Yeah, and we got a little bit of a sizzle reel after this that was just kind of showing off like the hardware functions, a lot of stuff that we already know about. PS5, the 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray, the
tease the dashboard for a second.
The SSD, that dashboard tease I think came later, but yes, we did end up seeing a little bit of a tease of the dashboard and the way the startup screen
bullshit.
is. I want to see the actual. I want to see what it looks like.
I want to see if it's clean, man.
Yeah, we got a little bit of that startup screen. They were talking about the hardware functionality of it, the stuff that we already know about, ray tracing, blah blah blah. But after that,
no.
Yeah, the teraflops, the all important teraflops. After that, we got the reveal of, and this was odd to me because they said that this was a new first-party exclusive franchise. A new game by Housemarque called Returnal. Stupid name, right?
It's funny as I'm like the whole time I'm like, this game looks pretty good.
The
Returnal.
game looks cool. The game does look cool. Uh, Housemarque, by the way, is a pretty storied PlayStation. They're actually PlayStation has not purchased them yet. They're from like I think Finland, but I mean Housemarque's been around for like 20 years. Making stuff. They're really good with first party like Sony proprietary hardware. They made like Dead Nation back on PS3, Resogun, which was probably the best game available at PS4's launch. Alienation, which you and I enjoyed when
Oh
we
yeah,
played it.
I would have loved to put more time in that shit. That shit got hard though.
Got very, very
God,
hard
that
for
shit
just
got
two
hard.
players. Yeah. So, but their new game is called Returnal, and it looks like you're playing as this woman and this sort of like. First of all, it looks third person, which Housemarque hasn't really done before.
Yeah, it does look like it's gonna be third person, and I'm assuming it's gonna be roguelike.
Yeah, because it seems like there's kind of a loop, right?
Yeah, it's like with each death or whatever, and that's why
With
I'm
each
assuming it's called Returnal. But yeah,
got this kind of like sci-fi, kind of got a little bit of an alien vibe to it, and I don't know, looks cool. We didn't see much, but it looks interesting. Again, there are clips in there you can tell gameplay was being shown. So Housemarque, it has a really solid pedigree. It's something I'm definitely going to keep my eye on, despite the stupid title. Next up, in probably what has me the most interested I've ever been in Little Big Planet.
that right there, that's the realest shit you could ever say about that game, though.
It's called Sackboy: A Big Adventure, and it's a proper like 3D platformer with it looks like up to 4-player co-op.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of down for it.
Yeah, and I'm way more down for this than I ever was with Little Big Planet because I just didn't care for the 2D platforming mechanics with Little Big Planet. It always felt kind of weird to me, and this just looks way more up my alley. Looks a lot more. I don't know. I'm just more interested, and I've always kind of wished that Little Big Planet was like just kind of a strictly a game. You know what I mean? Like I'm kind of glad that this seems like it's going to be kind of abandoning the whole like player made levels and shit like that. It's like that's all well and good, but like I want the game to be good too.
Yeah.
And I always felt like Little Big Planet's single player stuff was not super great. So this looks cool. Hopefully this comes out at like a budget price or something, and I could definitely see myself checking it out for like 30-40 bucks. Now, moving on, we got something that looked kind of interesting. This is another first party Sony game, looking like they're kind of dipping their hat into the sort of like Fortnite, Rocket League kind of realm with something called Destruction All Stars.
Yeah. That looked fun.
It looks fun. I mean, the character designs are good. The game looks really good. It looks like it's sort of a mix of like car and on foot combat.
So here's the deal. I don't think I think there's only combat between like I think your car gets destroyed, I'm assuming, and then you're going to be on foot trying to dodge the cars and also taking out the other motherfuckers that are on foot, I suppose. But
that's sort of what it looks like. It looks like you probably start the match in the car, and your car looks like it's like upgradable, customizable, has weaponry on it and shit. It even
like
looks
shields
like
and shit.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like you can really like kind of kit the car out. And then if your car gets destroyed, you're then on foot. It looks like trying to dodge cars that are trying to kill you.
It does seem like you can like trick over the cars. It's like maybe I'm assuming there's gonna be a level of like style point to this shit.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I mean, it looks interesting. It looks kind of nuanced. If Sony was smart, and I feel like that's not going to be the case with this game because I feel like if it were, they would have said so. But if Sony were smart, this would have been the kind of thing they would make free to play.
Mm-hmm.
If this were free to play for PS5, sell us skins, sell us car parts and shit like that. I think this could have been something really cool that would take off. We'll see. I think it looks interesting, but this game just screams free to play for me. But moving on to maybe definitely one of my top 3, I think, highlights of the show. A really interesting little game called Kena Bridge of Spirits.
Fuck yes. That is one of that's Same, like top 3 highlight.
I mean, this game just looked breathtaking. I mean, absolutely breathtaking. I
But
mean,
just even from the beginning of the trailer, I'm like, oh, this looks adorable. What is this?
well, I mean, you talk about Pixar quality visuals.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this game looks, even just in its gameplay, I mean, this looks Pixar quality, but even like the art is just
Mm-hmm.
stunning. Like the designs and the art,
Dude,
it looks amazing.
when we first got the shot of like kind of like the world, like it was like that backdrop. I'm like, oh fuck.
I mean, it just looks so beautiful. If this game has an art book, it's like I'm buying this art book. Like
Day
the
one.
art, yeah. I mean, just the art is just so beautiful, and like the designs and the combat looks fun. I mean, from what I gather, and this is another, I'm gonna watch. By the way, after we get done recording, I feel like I'm gonna just watch this entire event again.
So, by the way, I do think so. I noticed that with the staff, it seems like you're controlling those. I don't know what the fuck they're called, but those little like furry little
Yes.
shits. Though you're controlling them almost like lemmings.
Yeah, well, yeah. So there's. It looks to me like you're. So, and again, this is another character where the main character, or another game where the main character is female. By the way, which is cool. So we're starting to see a little more inclusivity in some of these games. And this game, it looks like, yeah, you're using these staff to control these little, yeah, these little kind of indigenous creatures. But a really cool thing is the staff can also be used as a magical bow.
Mm-hmm. That was a really cool shot.
So cool. Like she can like hold it forward and then use it as a bow. I mean, it looked awesome. And again, I just can't, just the designs and the, like the art is just, it just looked amazing. I mean, just a breathtaking game. I couldn't get over it. It's another trailer I'm gonna have to watch a whole bunch of. After that, we saw this kind of strange looking. We didn't really get a sense of what kind of game this is gonna be. Looks like it's probably gonna be kind of a visual novel kind of thing. It's called Goodbye Volcano High.
Yeah.
Wasn't really either of our cups of tea. I don't think. There is an audience for games like this for sure, like these kind of like homestuck kind of things, like they're kind of these like dinosaur like dragon creatures.
I saw like a rhino looking ass thing. Not a rhino, but it was like some weird ass like that. It's all dinosaur-y and like scaly and shit.
But it kind of, it looks like it takes place in like a high school. It's kind of got this kind of like, you know, kind of emo teen thing going on. This I mean, you know, not really my cup of tea, but there are people who like games like this, and we just didn't really get a good sense of what the actual gameplay is like. Possibly a visual novel. I don't know. That's coming in 2021. This was really interesting though when we saw Lord Lanning come up and talk about Oddworld Soulstorm, which essentially looks like a full proper really sequel to Abe's Odyssey.
Mm.
So that was actually kind of cool to see. And it looks really dark, actually, like a really dark Oddworld game. Oddworld's always been kind of dark, but this one looks particularly like, this one actually looks kind of fucked up. And again, visually, just really, really cool. It was cool to see, even with these early PS5 games, the kind of visuals that these developers are able to achieve. So that looks interesting. Oddworld has always been a really kind of cool franchise. Now, I was really excited about this next thing, because we finally got our first proper look at Ghostwire Tokyo.
Yes.
I am here for this game. This is not at all what I thought the game was going to be.
But I'm still here for it.
And yeah, essentially what it is a first person, which that alone shocked me. First person game where, yeah, you're going through the streets of Tokyo and you're kind of dealing with these like supernatural spirits. And like there's first person kind of like magical Yu Yu Hakusho ass combat. Like I call that out because you're using like the finger guns and shit. Like it looks cool, man.
Yu Yu Hakusho ass shit.
It is like totally. So I don't know, man. I think that this game looks really cool. And again, just from a visual perspective, like it looks like a really cool representation of Tokyo. If they really just let me loose in like supernatural streets of Tokyo, I'm here for that, you know? It's actually kind of funny because this and something else these are both Bethesda games, right? And Bethesda is not really doing anything right now, so Bethesda just kind of looped their shit in with this.
Yeah.
So, but that is coming in 2021. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to seeing more of that. Of course, our girl no longer working on it, now doing her own thing. Spooky. So, but we're definitely still going to be keeping an eye on that. It was cool to see Shinji Mikami talk about it. Next, we saw something called Jet the Far Shore, which is a new game by Super Brothers, coming this holiday. So, for those that don't know, Super Brothers, they made a game called Sword and Sorcery, which is sort of a playable. It's a game, but it's also kind of a music album. And this game looks like it's going to be very, very similar to that. Just more high fidelity, obviously, and kind of like a more proper, like fully produced game. But still looks like it's very much going to be like music based and stuff. So could be interesting. But I think another thing that really the next thing we saw was something we could talk about a little bit more. A new trailer for Godfall, which is that Gearbox co-op action RPG coming this holiday. I think it looks cool. I think the trailer made the game looked like it ran like shit. To be honest, like in terms of the sort of frame rate, looked pretty choppy.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know, but otherwise, I think the game looks interesting. I don't know. What do you think about Godfall? You there for it?
I'm gonna need to wait to hear more. Because Gearbox has burned me.
Borderlands 3 was enough, huh?
It burned me.
That was enough to make them skeptical in your eyes now.
It hurt me.
Yeah, no, I'm going to wait too. I want to hear how it is.
This girl is on fire.
No spoilers, no spoilers. Oh, God. Put a bad taste in my mouth of that shit. No, but it looks cool. I like the idea, right? Like, I like the idea of a co-op fantasy kind of like... The combat looks great. I mean, I think we can say that. The combat looks fun.
Oh, yeah, combat definitely looks good.
You know, acquiring like new gear and a lot of player customization and stuff. I think this game has got potential. And I like the visuals of it. I'm going to keep my eye on this. I'm always looking for a good co-op game.
Always and forever.
Now, the next thing they showed made you... this is the first of your kind of fangirl squealing. Because this is a brand new trailer and gameplay for the next game by Heart Machine, Solar Ash. This used to be Solar Ash Kingdom. I guess it's now just Solar Ash.
I think it's a better name, honestly. Just Solar Ash.
I kind of miss the Kingdom. I don't know. That's semantics, though.
I'm not going to act like we got a lot here, but I was happy with what we did get.
We didn't get a lot. There are a few little things to notate, though. First of all, the movement.
Does seem like there's going to be voice acting, which is a big deal.
Voice acting, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, the movement looks great, and I am ready for this game.
You being, of course, a massive Hyperlight Drifter fan.
Love me some Hyperlight Drifter.
So really cool to see them kind of tackling an even bigger project. This is actually not, Hyperlight Drifter, of course, is like pixel art, kind of 2D kind of look to it.
Yeah.
This is a fully 3D, third-person perspective kind of world.
Mm-hmm.
The main character design is still really cool, though.
Oh yeah, love it.
So we didn't see much, but we saw enough to really kind of whet our appetite for a little while longer. It's coming next year. Next, we saw Hitman 3, taking place, I guess, in Dubai.
Well, at least a level of it.
At least one level of it. What we saw taking place in Dubai. Really interesting looking. I mean, like, I have not kept up with Hitman, but I know, I respect what they have done with Hitman. I like that. Because if you remember, Hitman 1 was like episodic. And it didn't super work out that well for them, even though the game was really good. I actually really liked Hitman 1. And then when Hitman 2 came out, they kind of took a different approach to it. I think they actually, if I'm not mistaken, I don't even think Square produces Hitman anymore. I think IO actually got the rights back to Hitman for themselves.
I think that is the deal.
And now they're just producing it themselves, which is like, that's a baller move, and you got to respect that. So Hitman 3 coming January 2021. Looks cool. We saw a couple of things that I really liked, just again, as a casual Hitman fan. I liked the shots of, like, Dubai is like a crazy, these like skyscrapers, having to wear like a fucking mask to be on the skyscraper. It's so high up, you know?
I feel like I'm gonna get like I kind of want to play it just to play that level.
We saw like there was like he was kind of like underneath like a sky bridge,
Yeah.
like walking on. It looked really interesting. I don't know. I like Hitman. I haven't really kept up with the series, but I do like Hitman. So this looked interesting. Next thing we saw, Astro's Playroom, which looks like it's kind of a sequel to the Astrobot VR game that really, really widely acclaimed. A lot of people say it's the best PSVR game. I didn't play it, so I can't really speak to that too much, but the game looks cute, looks fun, looks like a little cute little 3D platformer. Might be something to check out. But the next game we saw was even more confusing to me. Now, the art style of this was cool, but I couldn't really discern what the hell was going on. It's called Little Devil Inside.
Oh yeah, I don't know what the fuck was going on. I mean, like, I like the art style of that game, but what the fuck?
But it's like, what is it though? Like,
I was getting confused with like the old man, and then you had like the armored motherfucker, like hunting monsters and shit.
Yeah, there was like this old man who was kind of living his day-to-day life, like going like grocery shopping, taking a shit.
Granted, that shot with him dropping the bomb and essentially the fucking shit
like a
dropping in the
scene
water.
Transition. Yeah,
that was funny.
That was funny. I mean, like, it had a cool art style, but yeah, essentially what it looks like is like you're having these perspective shifts between this old man living his life and then this like younger armored guy fighting like monsters. And I'm like, okay, is this like a mental thing? Is he like reliving like the adventures that he had as a young man? I don't know what's happening here. The art's really cool and the designs of these monsters are cool, but I mean, we got no sense of what it actually is. We got a little bit of a look. So again, we talked about this a little bit with EA. This is something they have to do. They have to talk about sports at least briefly. We do tip our hat to Sony for making it brief, though.
Oh, it was very brief.
So
the only way it could have been briefer is if they just didn't do it at all.
Yeah, just a really fast. I think they may have spent optimistically 2 minutes on it. Just a really brief look at NBA 2K21. Again, that's a huge game coming this fall. Looks really good, like visually, but we don't play those games, but that's not for us, but it is for somebody, right? This next game from the creators of Octodad was pure nightmare fuel.
Oh, I felt like I was in hell the entire fucking time.
What is this hell?
It was just like, well, one, it starts off with like a moving, like it was a strawberry. You're like, and your stupid ass is like, I'm a strawberry.
The camera pans down. We see this little strawberry like laying by the river. I'm like, am I a strawberry?
It fucking starts moving. It has eyes and shit. I'm just
but it's, and then the trailer was so strange because it treats it like a nature documentary. We're seeing the strawberry running around from this like cheeseburger
crab or some shit,
like chasing it, and then like. Yeah, this walrus,
you got this garbage ass Steve Irwin motherfucker.
Yeah, this low rent Steve Irwin walrus like eats the strawberry, and then her hand turns in.
Strawberry hand.
Yeah, the hand like turns into. I don't know what the fuck is happening in this game. It's called Bug Snacks,
and I hate it.
And I don't know what's happening here. I'm like, what is this game?
And then there was this pure nightmare fuel at the end of it.
Well, yeah, because basically the trailer is basically a series of shots of just these, and now it is kind of inventive the way they've taken these like food items and turned them into like creatures and stuff.
Yeah, you got motherfuckers with wiener hands.
Yeah, yeah. And there's actually like voice acting and stuff like that, and then we get like
this last shot haunts me. It's all these creatures joining together, making this like fucking abomination.
What an odd game. I mean, that's coming out this holiday. For what it's worth, I enjoyed Octodad. Octodad was actually kind of fun. It even had like this game had its own like theme song. Granted, Octodad did too. To be fair, so I don't know. This might be something like my wife actually really loves Octodad, so maybe I'll show this to her. Maybe this will be her cup of tea, but I don't know. Now, this was one of the biggest things. I had this actually in the news drop as a rumor. Ended up removing it because now it's confirmed. Todd, my boy, it's finally happening.
Bring me a demon soul.
Bring me yes. So, Blue Point, the renowned porthouse, is making a full remake from the ground up in the vein of Shadow of the Colossus.
It's a fucking remake. You can just the way everything. Oh my god!
A full remake of Demon Souls. Wow.
Daddy's ready.
And you know, I was sort of feeling it just based on the music and stuff, but then once we saw the Stingrays,
yeah, the Stingrays, I'm like, oh, okay, this is Demon Souls.
Man.
But dude, that's how it was like kind of like shit looked so different in a way from like the like the original because it is a full fucking remake.
But they have managed to capture this sort of like the art style is not lost.
No, it definitely isn't. It's like when I saw like come on, dude, you saw some of the fucking bosses. I'm just like, oh shit.
Oh yeah, what's that motherfucker with the big shield? What's his name? That giant.
He's got a dumbass name. It's just I think it's like dead ass, like the piercing knight or some shit, or penetration, some dumb shit like that. It's been a long time.
that's when you really like. That's a really recognizable boss, right?
Yeah, this is the one Souls game I've put not a lot of time in.
Well, that's why I'm so excited about that, right? Because this is the one that like I've seen a couple speedruns or whatever, but I've never actually spent a appreciable amount of time with this game.
This is why I've been wanting it so much, like so heavily for like fucking years at this point.
For a studio like Blue Point, which again, they've done such a phenomenal job. I mean, they really went from, I think Sony, first of all, if I could choose one more studio for Sony to buy, it would be Blue Point. Because, you know, for a long time, they were just making these really great ports of like HD remakes HD remasters of like the Uncharted games and stuff like that. But then when they did Shadow of the Colossus, and that game again is a full remake from the ground up. Hell, that's the way you experienced Shadow of the Colossus, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now they're giving Demon Souls the same treatment. Sign me the fuck up,
dude. Demon Souls is day one. I don't give a fuck how much it is.
That is a day one purchase.
I don't give a fuck how much it is. You can charge me $60. I'd still pay $60.
Oh, I'm sure it will be $60. Yeah. No, I can't wait. Looks really cool. I don't know. I don't really have much more to say. I wish we would have saw some gameplay.
Yeah. I'm happy with what we got though.
But I'm happy.
You got the looks of I think we did get what the game is going to look like for the most part. So
some gameplay would have been nice. A release date would have been nice, but you know, it seems like it's more than likely probably going to be sometime next year. But again, just knowing that it exists makes me happy.
After all this time.
Always. The next thing we saw was a pretty significant, actually, gameplay trailer of Deathloop by Arcane. And I gotta be honest, the first time we saw this game, I was like, okay, like it was more of a concept trailer. The first time we saw it, I think at last E3.
Mm-hmm.
But now finally getting a look at this gameplay, I'm like, okay, this actually kind of looks like not Dishonored, right? Like it looks very Dishonored like in its gameplay, but it's not Dishonored.
Yeah.
Kind of has this like 70s film aesthetic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of into it. I think it looks kind of cool. Surprisingly, no release date. But, you know, again, this is another Bethesda published thing that was kind of roped into this. And I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. What do you think?
I don't know. It's I could take it or leave it right now. I want to see more.
I want to see more. Early on in the trailer for this next game, I sort of predicted what it was going to be, and of course, it was a slam dunk. Resident Evil 8 Village.
I do love the way they did the title card on that one.
Yes, which we talked about this actually in I think maybe a month or two ago on the show when this was more or less leaked. But yes, the title card with the village and the VILL and you know, turning into the 8 Roman numeral.
Very, very, very nice. I definitely enjoyed it.
This game is going in a weird direction.
Yeah.
Because it's not even just, I don't even know that we saw a fucking zombie in this game. like it's not really, like, this game has gotten full supernatural at this point. Like, we're seeing castles with like a coven of witches, it looked like.
I don't know what the fuck was. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. All right, man.
We saw a werewolf.
Yes, we did see that.
Which, again, that was sort of teased. But this game looks like it's going full bore, like more supernatural than zombies, right? And we see the redesign of Chris Redfield at the very end of the trailer.
Definitely looks better.
And I guess he's just straight up popping a cap in Ethan's wife.
Yeah, and I'm just like, end. Okay, I guess the reason for Resident Evil 7 does not matter. Kill the shit out of her. I was like...
it was strange. It was weird to see just right there in the trailer. So,
he's like, I'm sorry, Ethan. I'm like, oh, shit.
Right. Just like puts like bullets in her. Like, damn, all right. This was another one that looked a little like framey.
Yeah.
Like we were getting a little, but you know, I kind of figured it was going to be, once we kind of saw the shots of the snowy kind of village, I was like, okay, this lines up with the rumors and stuff. So Resident Evil 8, I mean, looks cool. The supernatural tactic has me more excited, I think, than anything else.
Yeah.
So coming 2021, presumably early 2021. Just as a quick aside before I move on, I think that we probably would have gotten a lot more release dates, but I think COVID probably fucked with a lot of this.
Yeah, I can see that.
I mean, you got to imagine that something like Ratchet might have been ready for like launch. You know what I mean? Like, it just seems like some stuff probably got shifted because of COVID. Anyway, moving on. A really strange looking game called Pragmata.
Yeah.
Which, it was a weird trailer. It's not coming until 2022. I'm assuming, now, there was a lot of speculation because the writer of Dead Space was teasing on Twitter that he's working on a new project. I think that's what this is. Unconfirmed. I'm sure he's talking about it on Twitter right now, but I haven't looked. We literally just got done watching this. But I think that's probably what this is. And it's a very sci-fi kind of thing. We're seeing this character in this kind of like astronaut suit, I guess. Exosuit. And he's... it kind of does this like detective kind of thing. This weird like he sort of does this detective vision thing where he's tracking a little girl. And he then finds the little girl. This is such a head trip of a trailer.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, it come to find out the whole world itself is a simulation, and they kind of like go into space and like avoid contact with this like crashing space station.
Mm-hmm.
And then they look on to Earth or whatever, and
then
it
like
looks
the fucking moon or some shit.
It looks like they're standing on the moon, and they look onto Earth, and they talk about like they're trying to get to Earth or something. I don't really know what the hell's going on.
It was cool looking.
It was, I mean, from a visual standpoint, it was cool. I was almost like, when I saw it, first of all, I got to the point where it was just everything. I was like, Silent Hill.
Yeah, that was funny. Yeah, as soon as like the little girl's Silent Hill, I'm like, why?
I was just saying it just to say it at that point. But it just, I almost got like a Kojima kind of vibe from it. It was so strange. And the character almost looked like he was the Kojima Productions mascot. But Todd, the single highlight for me was the final game they revealed here during the event before we get into hardware stuff. Before you know, the final actual video game reveal, I can't even tell you how amazing Horizon 2 Forbidden West looks.
Holy shit. The game is, to put it into words, breathtaking.
That was the most beautiful video game I've ever seen in my life.
Yes, absolutely fucking breathtaking.
It looked so stunning. I literally, as I'm watching it, and by the way, it's one thing for a game to look really good, to look photoreal or whatever, but you're only as good as your art. And Horizon 2's art is just
Well, that's the thing. Horizon has always had that. I've always loved the art of like Horizon.
oh yeah, it always. I mean, the first game looked phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's one of the best games on PS4, no doubt about it. But then, like, to see this Horizon 2 just like visually, I literally, it was making me emotional. I literally had a tear in my eye watching the trailer.
It seems like the fact that it seems like there's going to be underwater shit.
We see Aloy going underwater. We
Yeah.
see a lot of actually the different biomes in this game.
Yes, there was a desert. I saw like there was still, I think, the snowy shit, like everything, man, everything under this green earth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and underwater stuff. We see a lot of shots of Aloy on a mount. We see new robot creatures. We see animal life.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about nature is healing.
Nature is healing.
We see animal life. We see that. I really loved that shot of that turtle robot. But no, man, and then there's that shot of that kind of like holographic, like pink and red, like dragon.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
That was so good.
Oh my god! I can't get over how good it looked, and like the music swelling, and just I put a tear in my eye. It really did, and I'm not like, don't get me wrong. I loved Horizon 1, loved it, but I wouldn't call it like one of my favorite games of all time or anything.
No,
like
definitely
that.
not. It was a great game, but yeah.
But this just looked so fucking stunning. I mean, like, I can't get over it. I really. We didn't get any sort of release date or anything like that. It would have been such a big dick move if that was a launch title.
Yeah.
But I mean, you could tell watching this trailer, you could tell that this was gameplay. Like, you could tell that this game just actually looks this good. And just the fucking, like, the particle effects as Aloy is on her mount, like, running through the field.
Yes.
Oh.
I was just expecting something bigger. This event was not that eventful.
It just...
Piece of shit.
There was nothing, and there is, for the record, nothing I don't think that Microsoft can show me that would elicit the same reaction that just gave me.
Not at all.
Like, that was so fucking... That alone, I'm like, I have... If I wasn't already sold on PS5, I have to have it so that I can play that.
I'm sold now. Like, dude, so... Oh, God.
I mean, I was emotional watching it. I'm emotional now talking about it. I mean, it was staggering. It was absolutely fun. My jaw was on the floor. I can't get over it. I can't wait to get done recording this so I can watch it again. I mean, it just... But so one of the things kind of coming into this again, like we said, we were getting like these sizzle reels between the game, and again, no release date for Horizon. But we assume that's going to be coming. It looked pretty far along to me, so we assume that's going to be probably coming within the next year. But what they ended the show with, and we were kind of hoping to see the box reveal, right? We're like, show us the box.
Spread it open.
We want to see the box. We got a little bit of a developer sizzle reel that led into it. There was, as you said, you motherfuckers are dramatic.
We're just sitting there doing all this bullshit with these these balls and shit. I'm like, come on, man.
Like, just doing it was a very dramatic reveal, right? But we finally see the box. And yes, indeed, Todd, as we predicted on the show, it's white.
Yep.
It's monochromatic, white and black. A very interesting curvature.
Dude, I love
the box.
It is, as the buddy even said, the most striking design to date.
Yes.
And definitely. I agree wholeheartedly with that. That's it. I love the design of it. I'm assuming motherfuckers are going to probably bitch that they're going to have to like stand it up.
I don't think you're going to have to stand it up.
I'm trying to figure out how it's going to. I'm wondering how it's going to work if you do lay it flat.
So the way I assume it's going to work is because it's out at a curvature, it'll lay flat on its two end points, but the curvature on they're actually two different.
Probably SKUs. Still use that stand essentially, maybe.
Maybe, yeah, maybe, and that's certainly possible. But I think it's going to lay flat just fine if that's what you want to do with it. But they are marketing it as a standing up sort of thing.
And it looks so clean. Looks so
It
clean like
looks
that.
it looks cool, man. It was actually even a crazier design than I even thought it was going
And
to be.
then they went even further and showed us the discless edition.
Yes, so it's called the PS5 Digital Edition with no disc drive,
which is the version that I'm gonna get because it's probably gonna be cheaper.
I'm assuming it is. Noteworthy. I assume it will be cheaper. It is worth noting that we did not get the release date or the price. Microsoft and Sony are still doing a kind of Mexican standoff
I swear to God.
with that. I don't expect to hear that. I mean, they're going to have to talk about it soon.
I just want them to come out and say, like, just do it, you coward. Give in.
They're going to literally these things are going to be entering production no later than next month. They are going to have to. Somebody's got to give. We're going to have to get the price soon. But yeah, you got to assume that the disc drive-less version, the digital edition, it's got to be cheaper. If it is appreciably cheaper, then yeah, I'm probably going to go that route too. I get all my PS5 or PS4 games digitally as it is.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that kind of gives me pause on it is I do have a lot of physical Blu-rays still.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the only thing that kind of. So I mean, but if it's like literally, if I could save like a lot of money by going the digital route, I will. So we're just gonna have to see. I mean, but yeah, it's really cool they came out swinging with two different SKUs. Also cool that they showed us the slate of the accessories that you assume are going to be available at launch.
Yeah, the charging station, which I'm definitely going to pick up.
A full charging dock, an HD camera, which for those that underrated thing about the PS4, that camera is actually kind of hard to find now. It's actually a really solid camera. So I'm assuming that the camera for PS5 is going to be really high quality as well. Might be worth grabbing that if you're in the market. Yeah, and we saw like the full 3D audio Sony headset, which might be a thing. There's a media remote that they're going to have available for PS5.
I respect a good media remote.
So yeah, I mean, like, and again, we saw that little tease of the desktop and the sort of like startup and stuff. I think that's probably next time we touch base with this console. I'm really hoping that we get to get a full look at that. Give me a deep dive of the nuts and bolts of the console. Give me a price. Give me a release date. But for now, I mean, I was super happy. This is up there with some of my favorite Sony events of all time.
I just wish for something bigger, more eventful. Fuck you.
I just think Sony knocked it out of the park with this. I really do.
Oh, no, I'm sold.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, look, they came out with a swinging dick, man. They said, here are some exclusives. Here are some third-party things. Now, I will say I'm surprised that we didn't see Call of Duty here.
Yeah, that's actually surprising.
Definitely surprised by that. I'm assuming we are going to, hear about that soon. But this would have been a good place to show Call of Duty. But no Call of Duty. But we saw plenty of third-party stuff. We saw plenty of exclusives. No shortage of gameplay. We get the box reveal. I'm really happy. I do not really have too many critiques of this event, to be honest with you. When can I pre-order? Sign me the fuck up.
Yeah. When can I spend an asinine amount of money?
Right. There's still a couple of questions we've got. Again, even beyond like the release date, the price, stuff like that. We have heard, Sony's got to kind of address the, Xbox is doing the smart delivery thing. Sony's got to kind of detail how they're going to do that with PS5. So there's still plenty that we kind of need to know before the system launches, and they have said like they're going to have much more to share in the very near future. So not the last time we're going to be talking about PS5, but this was a really cool reveal. But yeah, that's about all I've got this week in terms of news. Todd, let's end the show as always with the Brendan Fraser quote of the week. Some infinite wisdom from a treasured actor.
Dude, this is a good ass quote though.
He's full of great quotes. The Brendan Fraser quote of the week this week is, quote, "I don't believe that wishing works. I think we get the things we work for." End quote. That knowledge, Todd. Brendan Fraser dropping bombs.
Straight bars. No.
Anyway, that's all I got this week, Todd. You got anything else you want to add before we wrap it up?
I think that's about it, man.
All right, folks. Thanks for listening. We'll catch you next week. Get fucking dunked on. Bye.
See ya.